This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Welcome back to the show.
9 to noon.
Just listen. Just listen. This is a great setup, Bob.
Now, what did I do wrong?
Good stuff.
I'm a kid, so I call it KFAN.
Good morning. 9 to noon is in the air.
You lucky suckers.
It's a Talkback Tuesday, and more on that in a minute. First, big news, ladies and gentlemen. The QB2 quiz may be able to eliminate one of the multiple choice options.
Oh my God! Kirko, chill!
Courtesy of ProFootballTalk.com. And this was found yesterday by yours truly, Paul Allen, producer Nordo by my side. Talkback Tuesday. Good morning. Courtesy of PFT via Albert Breer of SI.com. Kirk Cousins, former quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings, quote, to avoid the situation he found himself in last April when he was blindsided by Atlanta's decision to take Michael Penix Jr. with the 8th pick. As a result, Cousins isn't willing to take any team at their word.
Oh my gosh, you are above average at that.
Instead, he wants to see what happens during the draft before deciding whether to waive the clause that prevents the Falcons from trading him without his permission.
Oh my gosh, you are above average at that.
Now, this all comes under the assumption Atlanta wants to trade him and or will somehow pick up a large portion of the money owed. It's the QB2 quiz that encapsulates the world and the minds of 9 to noon. That's the Cuz buzz as we continue to monitor the QB2 quiz. But if Kirko Chains wants to start, then Kirko Chains ain't going to be here. We want to hear from you today, ladies and gentlemen. Listen closely, please. We want to hear from you today. The iHeart app talkbacks are what we call dealer's choice. You deal the talkback, and we intently listen and respond. Hear us when we tell you this on a beautiful Tuesday in the neighborhood being FM 100.3, KFAN, it's 9 to noon. The iHeart app talkbacks are what we call dealer's choice today, and maybe every Tuesday the rest of our lives. You deal the talkback, and we promise to intently listen and respond. Let's talk back and text more than people know. Perhaps a dealer's choice involves these guys.
Shot blocked by Turner on Dante DiVincenzo. Back the other way. Here comes Halliburton. Lob inside. Pascal Siakam throws it down and puts an exclamation point on this one. Turner block at one end. Siakam slam at the other. And it's good night, Irene.
Alan Horton from the alleged Cradle of Basketball. Copyright James Naismith. It was a fat L last night.
L.
But 9 to noon is still all hail the howl. What the hell's going on up in here? We are all hailing the howl. What happened last night? Where was our pop and energy? Our energy's gone. Our energy's gone sometimes. Are we going to get bounced in the disease play-in? Dealer's choice. If your talkback, dealer's choice happens to be blackjack from last night, we were getting nothing but 16s.
Yeah.
L.
16s against 10s.
16s against 10s, kept hitting jacks. Just how it works. The adversary had blackjack. L. Wolves-related talkbacks, please. Why? Because it's a Talkback Talker Tuesday, and today is Dealer's Choice. Excellent day to fire up the talkback machine with that Dealer's Choice, right? I mean, specifically after this happened.
Grabbed by Boldy, roped ahead, batted out midair by Rantanen. It's fed along Marchment right side. It's Mason Marchment's third of the season series, and that should do it in Dallas as the Stars have pulled in front 3-0.
Oh, good.
Well, Nordo, don't know what you have to say for yourself right now, but what an excellent, excellent day to craft the idea. Dealer's choice for the talkback machine after the way the old pro teams played last night. And good morning.
Good morning. You know, we go to the talkback well, and sometimes we don't take all the water we possibly can. But today we are, because we are thirsty.
We're taking it on.
This is water in the desert that we are looking for. I had no idea that Anthony Edwards and Dante DiVincenzo were going to go 2 of 18 from deep.
Look, just to amputate Ant's wounded finger, okay, so we can get out of this freaking play-in.
I had no idea that the Minnesota Wild, who were finally scoring goals, and it was Zuki, and it was Boldy off the schneid, and Gus Bus playing as well as he has all year. I had no idea that they were once again just going to go down to Dallas, and with a contender on the other side of the ice, they were just going to lay flat and take the L in the way that they did. So in some ways, this has gone from a Talkback Tuesday of the normal sorts to a Davenport of love, the digital Davenport. And that becomes Dealer's Choice, where if you are listening to 9 to noon and you have big opinions on these two squads, and of course there's much more we could talk about, hit that talkback function, that microphone on the free iHeartRadio app, and let her rip. Because we want to hear from you today on said digital Davenport.
When you play these high-end teams, please don't be scared. Pro teams, 0-2 last night, though. Excellent, excellent time to fire up the Dealer's Choice with the talkback machine. That hand dealt last night was that of stagnation and being overmatched. So, if and/or when Kaprizov and Eriksson Ek return, are we going to become the greatest show on turf? Will the cock finally crow? And we wake up and we start winning games with our stars on the ice. Granted, the beloved Christmas colors are strapped by awful injuries, but we got shut out by a team that pretty much always handles us, and that ain't good for business. Alas, here's the update. Your Minnesota Wild are 4 points clear of surging St. Louis, and now we need to keep one eye on the Couve. The Couve? Who knew? Vancouver is 3 points from the 8 and 7 from the 7. The 7. That's our spot. We are 4 behind the Lanch for third place in our division. Okay. 11 to go. Vegas is here tonight, and they have won 3 in a row and are crushing the Pacific with 92 points. May God be with everybody involved. Talkback Tuesday, Dealer's Choice. For those new to the Talkbacks, Nordo, once again, how does it work?
Free iHeartRadio app. You're listening to us there already. And when you have that splash page there with the station, you just hit the microphone, record up to your best 30 seconds. You're mad about the Hoops team. You're absolutely seeing red with the hockey team.
Apoplectic.
Whatever it is you got with the purple, big opinions galore. Come on in.
Gophers basketball fans, it's Nico Medved leading the charge. And if you never heard of him or you want to know what he sounds like, here's what he sounds like.
It was an unbelievable college basketball game. Both teams going at it, trying to fight to go to the Sweet 16. These guys made a lot of plays, and I thought we defended that last play pretty well. It's about all we could ask for, and he made a freaking unbelievable shot. And that's what happens in March Madness, and sometimes you're on their side of it, and sometimes you're on ours. And there's nothing I'm going to say to these guys to make them feel better. But what I will say is, I've had as much fun and joy coaching this group as any group I've ever been a part of. And they just keep giving us more. And, as a coach, you always hope that your players really learn something life-changing being a part of your program. But, what I learned from this is, they teach me more. They give me more probably than I give them. And just being around this group every day, it's made me a better coach. It's made me a better person. And I just can't thank them enough for this experience. And it hurts, but I know as time goes by, this group will realize more what they accomplished this year. And I'm just so proud.
Niko Medved. I already like him. We kind of low-key had a fixed game accusation in there when talking about the refs, and he's like, sometimes they're on your side and sometimes they're on their side. Picking sides with the old stripes, you say. I like that. Welcome, Niko Medved.
Well, did he stop by? I wonder how this works. I mean, clearly there were conversations taking place between maybe agents and representation. So if your squad sadly dispatched this opening weekend, there might be a plane waiting for you. They get off the plane to Minneapolis.
Yeah.
They're already head to toe in maroon and gold.
Hell
so
yeah.
Either they stopped at a sports store, they found a Shields somewhere to upgrade the threads, or this was already in action. Who gave them all the Gophers stuff?
If that travel that was uncalled was called, then Niko Medved is not here right now donning the Ski-U-Mah colors.
That's true.
Which means, in a very, very twist of fate type of serendipity, somebody over here got to the ref.
Why don't you give me half the money you were going to bet? Then we'll go out back, I'll kick you in the nuts, and we'll call it a day.
Niko Medved, how much will this help? Setting up some dealer's choice talkers if you are so inclined. What will it take for you to believe in this program? Any Fortune 500 bosses out there right now listening who don the maroon and gold? Maybe you graduated from there and want to plop $1 million into the NIL? Come on down. Slide a little our way 9 to noon, and we might say your name on the radio.
Welcome back to the show.
Dealer's choice, and I'd like to put some verbal cards in the air if you don't mind. Now, Nico's team lost to Maryland. How far realistically can Gophers football and/or basketball ascend in the age of the transfer portal and a name, image, and likeness cash? Asking for and as a friend. What are realistic expectations for those programs? That's my dealer's choice. I'm throwing out some spades. Feels from afar, consistently finishing ahead of, Ohio State and Michigan, et cetera, is far-fetched in football, and Sparty and the Boilermakers, et cetera, in basketball. Asking as a friend and for a friend, don't hate the host. Why should college basketball fans accept Maryland generally being better than us? College Park sucks, and I can say that because I live by there. What's so good about Maryland compared to what we offer? Again, Talkback Tuesday, and we are asking for friends and of friends to explain. Free iHeartRadio app, Talkback now. Deal that one up via the free iHeartRadio app and that Talkback feature, and please explain. How much? Here's another one. I'm gonna throw out a heart. How much do your football loving hearts believe in this guy?
I think I'm gonna switch over, man. I think he's gonna have the full rights to JJ from now on.
Yep.
And I think I'm gonna be the Jets, man. I think I'm gonna keep. Oh, there we go.
Oh, here it is. Jackson, and with Justin Jefferson cheering on the sideline, it's 2013 Raiders. He's JJ.
Dealer's choice, though. The NFL draft is 4 Thursdays away. Tag that via the talkbacks if you're so inclined. It's dealer's choice, and those are some options. Dealer's choice means whatever you want, and we will do our very best to serve, because as mentioned yesterday, 9 to noon, you make the conscious decision to find us. And 9 to noon does not take that lightly. The least we can do is give you a chance to be heard. Thus, It's a Talkback Talker Tuesday. You are the dealers, and it's your choice what topic or game you would like to play. To wit, can these guys win the NCAA Frozen Four?
He goes into the sideboards, and Serrano has it. His shot deflects. Comes back to Fink. He fires, that's wide. Serrano tries, but banned on it. Now Hughlin picks up the puck for the Gophers, and he'll hoist it into the air, getting it out of the zone. Moore after it. Centers it for Snuggerud. There's an empty net. He turns to Moore. He scores! Yeah!
Yeah!
We're coming.
It's the NCAA College Hockey Frozen Four. Ski-U-Mah starts in Fargo Thursday night, 7:40 The Fan. What up? And against UMass, the Minutemen. Gophers coach Bob Motzko joins 9 to noon around the corner, and all of that is courtesy of TimberTech and TimberTech.com. That's what's on deck for the opening segment. And what's next? Alas, there's much more coming your way via the Talkbacks. Nordo produces, and I'm Paul Allen. Good morning. This is KFAN.
Gopher Nation. Here's Tony Silencer. Back to the captain. Lay a pull on net. A tip pull. And they scored. Willie wins it for Minnesota.
Coach Motzko, it's Paul Allen. How are you?
I'm great, Paul. How are you doing today, pal?
All righty, man. I was kind of in a roundabout way. Happy to help you with some texting the other day, and here's what I mean. I was just wondering what got into your texting the other day.
Yeah, we were getting into it.
Well, no, I mean, actually, you were getting into it, but it was good because I asked you to join the show. You accepted because old school, best school. Then it was, after that, you wrote, from all the news we follow, the Vikings have nailed it with every move. We have to trust they know what they're doing. JJ was not a passer at Michigan. When they beat Penn State 2 years ago, he didn't throw a pass in the second half. Injuries last year. Well,
you're busting me.
I'm not busting. No. You're like, wouldn't it be something if JJ becomes a true franchise quarterback? Vikings get it right. First since Fran number 10. No, I'm not busting you. I'm happy to be here for you because clearly you have nervous energy before the UMass game and the NCAA tournament. You're looking for a distraction. You just let it all hang out, and I was thankful you found a safe spot in me.
Well, I'm a sports geek, so you follow it all, and we're all excited. We're most excited about getting our rear ends up to Fargo to play. But we've all been following the Vikings and what they're doing, and it sounds like they're just nailing it.
Hey, with Jimmy Snuggerud, Johnny the Mouse Mickelson, dear friend of mine, captain of the '83 Wayzata Club hockey team, and he wore the C. He watches all your games and has all your albums, and he made a point to me when we were talking about this about Snuggerud, and he's like, kids should watch this guy play, paraphrasing, because he always plays with his head up. It's like, it's okay to keep your head up every so often, and Snuggerud does it all the time, which is just another facet of that, like, makes him such a high-end player, right?
Yes. I mean, he's got, one, his head is always up. Two, his hands to catch pucks. It's like, he's like our wide receiver. He doesn't miss anything that comes near him. And it's just like super glue on a stick. So his head's up, he's ready to shoot. And he shoots the puck as hard as any player I've ever coached. And we need him to go off. That's one thing when you're a goal scorer. They go on streaks. They get hot. And this is a great time of year to see if we can get Jimmy going.
Okay, so like with Snuggerud, and you're like, we need him to go off. Yeah, for sure, no doubt. But is this and you've won championships as an assistant with Lucia. Is this time of the year more about stars shining or the collective unit playing as one, thus leading to wide-ranging success?
It's both. I mean, I'm not copping out on the, but it's both.
Right.
Your best players have to be your best players, but we have to be dialed in. Every team right now, this is probably the deepest NCAA tournament that we've seen in a long time, where there's no easy game. There's no easy bracket. Everybody's going to have to fight for every inch. And it's the collective group has to be ready to go, especially us early. We've got to be ready to go early. I know it's been talked about. We've been off for 19 days. Our guys have been great fighting through it, but it's just, we got to get in the fight right away. We got to get rust off right away.
So, given it's nearly 3 weeks since your last game, when you hook UMass Thursday night in Fargo, how did everybody handle the time that, you probably didn't want to have that much time, but the Notre Dame scenario didn't go the way you wanted it to, so you got the time. How did they handle it?
They like they have all year. This has been an extraordinary group of young men. Great leadership. They fought through it. We've had hard competitive practices, and they want it. They've been asking for more of it, and they've done everything we've asked. We just need to get the game started now. We're ready to go. You can feel it.
What went into the scrimmage in Rochester? What was the scrimmage like?
Well, this is the fourth time we've done it. One with our league. The 2 of the years we won the league, it's like Michigan State. They've only had 2 games since March 2nd. Because of the bye, and we play a 3-week extended tournament. So it's not just Minnesota. It's our league right now. We're hoping to fix it, and that's a fight for another day.
Right.
But this was the 4th time we've been down. We've been to Austin. We've been to Rochester twice, and last year we went up to Brainerd during these breaks, just to get out of town, get a distraction, because late in the year practices can be a little monotonous, and it's worked for us. We've been in 3 straight region finals. We popped through to 2 Frozen Fours, and we just got out of town. Rochester was great. We had played at Graham Arena. They packed the building for a scrimmage, so we had referees. We did the national anthem. You're trying to duplicate as much as you can. It's not the same as a game.
Yeah,
but you get a little juice when there's people in the crowd. The guys play a little different than a practice. So, and we're hoping that it has the same effect that we've used the last couple of years.
That's terrific. I see the Minutemen have a high save percentage, don't take many penalties, and seem to be good on the power play. Not bad to possess those traits this time of the year, right?
No question. And it's like all 4 teams in this region are very similar to that. Low penalized teams, good special teams. So our region is it's a highly competitive region.
Bob Motzko, coach of the Golden Gophers hockey team, NCAA tournament. The Frozen Four begins for Sky Yuma this Thursday up in Fargo. The game is at 7:30. A fair amount of your losses have come in overtime and or shootouts. So, how does one read into that, Bob?
Well, we don't do shootouts anymore, and we don't do 3-on-3 anymore. So that's a good feel. But part of that is our league is so competitive. You're going to have so many games get to overtime, and that's what you get you get that in the NCAA. There have been times where close to half of the NCAA games get to overtime. We had to play UMass 3 years ago in Worcester. Went to overtime. And it's just tight to the vest. You got all good teams. Everyone's earned their way in. But overtimes now go to 5-on-5, just like they do the NHL. Right. Well, 5-on-5 has been pretty good to us. So, we're gonna, if we get there, we'll be comfortable. If we get to overtime, we'll be very comfortable.
Nathan Airy started the 2 versus Notre Dame after Liam Soulier was the workhorse up to that series. How do you feel about the goaltending into the tournament?
Well, I have to take, all year long, our 2 goalies have given us a chance. One, we finished very high. We're the 5th-ranked team in the pairwise. Goaltending has been very strong for us. We had one little hiccup in that first playoff series, and our guys have confidence in both our guys. They really do, and we just can't have goaltending be an issue for us. And I have to go with the fact that they've been solid for us all year, and they're going to be that again. and they've gone back to work, and we've done a lot of extra work with those guys right now, getting ready for the tournament. And we don't think it's right now. We really don't think it's an issue for us. We just got to turn our guys loose.
So, if in any way, with the break and then the Rochester scrimmage, and if in any way, how did the break potentially freshen those guys?
I'm not sure I can say freshen. There's no question you're rested. We've got a motivated group. Their mission has been, to be highly successful in the NCAA tournament all year and get to a Frozen Four and have an opportunity to win. And you can sense that. We've got great leadership up top that understand, who have been around. When we've got guys that have been in Frozen Fours. We've got, last year we lost the region final. You've been there. That's all you can do is have a group that's been there, that's hungry to get back. And our group's very focused on that.
Which with Thursday, which goaltender do you fancy Thursday night?
We're just keeping that quiet right now because media's been asking. That's something we're gonna let that out on Wednesday.
Oh my gosh!
The college hockey world knows you have star power, Bob, up and down that lineup. So how healthy are you guys into the tournament?
Well, we lost Aaron Hughlin in that third game with Notre Dame for the year. Big loss for us. And August Floon will be out 3 weeks. So we got two forwards that are down. And that hurts. But the other thing, we've been battling this all year. And guys, and our depth has carried us through in any of these situations that have hit. And we had that just, stretch through the middle part of the year where we were so banged up. 5 guys out of the lineup. And our guys have never flinched during that. And we've had 2 weeks now to prepare and practice with the lineup that we've got. So we're very confident. As much as we're going to miss the guys that aren't there, we've got guys that can fill those holes.
Lastly, our guy, Ollie Moore, he jumped up. He jumped up for you this year, didn't he? What's the so like with Ollie? What's the preach to him into the tournament?
Just one thing with Ollie Moore, his motor. Any coach is going to tell you, kids that have that motor that just turns on immediately when a game starts and they play at an extreme high level. This is Ollie Moore. And he is going to bring it. I mean, he is going to bring energy. He is going to bring tenacity to the series, and he helps other people get going fast. And I can't say enough about, his development this year, the load we put on him to play against other teams' top players. His offense continues to improve. He's still a young player. But this is a kid where when the games start, he's ready to play every practice and every game. It never deviates. And he's a coach's dream to have players like that because it's infectious to the rest of the group that understand it. When you get players like that, they just have that internal motor that turns on.
You, my friend, are the very best, and I will be pulling for you from afar. Thank you, Bob Motzko, and safe travels and takedown too, and we'll talk very soon, okay?
Yep. Yeah, great news over here with our new basketball coach, too, today. So that announcement, I know the press conference this afternoon. So we welcome Nico to Gopher Land.
Have you met him?
I have not yet.
Did you see his final game at Colorado State when the big guy from Maryland traveled and they didn't call it?
Well, I've seen the replay of it.
Right.
And I've heard our fans were all ticked off about it, so that means we're already behind the guy, so I think it's awesome.
All right, tear it up against UMass. See you soon.
All right, pal, we'll see you.
That's Bob Motzko, NCAA Tournament Frozen Four this Thursday for old Bobby. 7:30, Shields Arena, Fargo. 7:40, the Fan Go Crazy. Sky Yuma, Bob Motzko. Sky Yuma. we start dealing with the crowd has dealt us. Did you happen to see the latest with it's Dan Hurley, coach of UConn? He's walking in the tunnel.
Yes, I wanted to talk to you about that. Yes, you spell it out.
Just quickly, because I think this is an Elite Sports Mind Covenant, so therefore the majority of the listeners know exactly what we're talking about. The coach in the tunnel didn't like the officiating. Baylor set to play. Hopefully the quote, paraphrasing, hopefully the stripes don't bleep you the way they just bleeped us. Go Baylor. And it turns out the director of communications, don't even know my man's name, can't remember it.
It's like Bobby Mullen or Bobby Mullins.
And we got all his albums. He was overheard getting into it with the media member who had the phone with the video. And
you're breaking up, Bob.
It's like, you're not supposed to be there, Bob. But then it went to, I will ruin you, is supposedly the threat that people
Time for
heard.
2 more?
Time for 2 more, like 2 more job applications you're going to need to try to become the director of communication somewhere else. Wow. Oh, here it is. Hold on. Yeah, it's Bobby Mullen. The lasting image of Coach Hurley leaving the court should have been his walking off the court arm in arm with his seniors, overwhelmed. Okay, I'm waiting for a video to play. This sucks. Instead, a reporter who was in an area he should not have been recorded on his cell phone a private comment made to members of another coaching staff. Well, other media members happened to hear Mr. Mullen say, "I'll ruin you," and so this kerfuffle, copyright bump, just won't go away. And UConn seems to be just taking hit after hit after hit with their braggadocious coach starting it.
I wish that Bobby Hagan was here right now. Just, I'm going to ruin your life.
Yeah.
That's apparently.
Yeah. But it
don't
would be,
ask that question. Don't write that article.
It'd be more like, Alec, I'm not going to invite you to Sugar Buzz, Main Street, and Hopkins anymore if you keep going to places you're not supposed to be, and I'm definitely going to stop sending you the set list. Time for 2 more.
You're not going to get backstage passes to Thunderstruck at Medina Ballroom if you keep going down this road.
And if we were being serious with this, all right, if my man was in a spot he shouldn't have been, then he absolutely should not have put the video out.
Right.
So that's that. I mean, it's a conundrum. It's a chaotic conundrum that's making a lot of people look bad, damn it. And it needs to come to a head right now.
Yeah, I'm trying, I guess, and there's still, you got 2 separate things here, right?
Yeah.
You have him losing his mind, Hurley losing his mind on camera about the referees.
I'm not a fan.
And then I don't think anybody outside of the UConn fan base circle is. But then you have the separate thing with the PR guy. Yeah, it's just ugly. They're becoming villains. And back-to-back titles, you should be, I mean, that's... And a little bit of a blue blood program, of course, with Calhoun prior to him. And I'm trying to think, is it Ollie? Kevin Ollie, maybe?
Kevin Ollie.
I think he won a title as a coach. So, I mean, that's a badass program. And they have done things the right way for so long. And now you got Hurley in here, trying to be cock of the walk here. I just don't get what's happening with that.
Maybe director of communications is like, oh, I see this.
It's on now.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's squabble in the media. Hey, talkback time.
Yeah.
Dealer's Choice.
How you doing?
How you doing, everybody? Thanks for going to the free iHeartRadio app.
How you doing?
And finding the talkback machine, leaving 30 seconds, really on any topic. It's a dealer's choice situation, and it puts you on the radio.
Hello, you're on the air.
What do we got?
Well, I don't have names, so hopefully if you're doing talkbacks, not all of these have names and location. I just have timestamps. So we're just going to roll with these things and respond as necessary.
Hey, PA. Hey, Nordo. Jake from Apple Valley.
Hi.
Just want to get your guys' opinion between the T-Wolves and the Wild. Which team has the best opportunity to make a run deep in the playoffs?
Ooh.
Appreciate the feedback.
Well, we appreciate the talkback. That was cool because it followed the plan. And you were in a place that you were permitted to be, which means Bobby Mullen, I got all his albums, can't get mad at you on social media.
Yeah, nobody's going to ruin your life, Jake.
From my standpoint, I believe the answer would be the Minnesota Timberwolves, and here's why. Because nobody has seen Kirill Kaprizov or Joel Eriksson Ek outside of the cover of darkness for how long? So Ant has a laceration with the finger, definitely played into his game last night. And there have been some topsy-turvy moments for said Hal of late. Julius Randle, after a loss to New Orleans, questioned the energy and need to get the energy back. But they got all their dogs. So they have all of their players. Where the Wild and in the That's Hockey covenant, things can be super wide open. Yeah, so we respect the Wild and an opportunity to advance because that's hockey. But realistically speaking, you want to have all of your dogs for the fight.
Yeah.
And Finchie, who might join tomorrow, has all of his dogs for the fight. Now, unlike the NHL, we got this disease playing situation where, I mean, it's just everybody's, as I'm going to share less than an hour from now, about 10:30, when we get to the Team Tank Covenant.
Oh, it's tank time.
Well, everybody in the West is losing. I mean, it's like this time last week, everybody in the West was on like a 2, 3, 4 game winning streak except us.
Yeah.
Then Steph gets hurt, and now Golden State starts losing. And then we lack energy, copyright Julius Randle, and we win, and we lose, and we win, and we lost last night. The Clippers on Sunday night lost. So they're all losing around us right now. It's, quite honestly, it's not a playoff push. It's a war of attrition.
Yeah, people are playing hot potato to get out of the top 6 and into the play, and it seems. I would agree with you on the Wolves. There's an aspect with the hockey team, PA, where I'm thinking to myself, it's cool that you've handled adversity. You've handled all of these injuries. You're still a stone-cold playoff team at this spot, 8 points clear, I believe, of whether Vancouver. I didn't see if Calgary won last night.
Calgary did not play last night, and the Couve got the money last night.
They did, okay.
So if we're going to do this, let's get official with it. The Minnesota Wild
They're 7 points ahead of Vancouver.
But the Vancouver's 3 from the 8, 7 from the 7. So the Couve is on the charge right now. The Blues are a hot topic item because they're right on our heels, and they've won 6 in a row, and they play this evening.
So that's where we're at there. At some point, does all the adversity, does all of the grinding just to get to the finish line of the regular season, and then you got to take a breath. You're still wondering what's up with Brodin. Do they need to shut him down? I mean, he's day to day, every day, it seems like. And as you mentioned, Jules Eriksson-Ek and Kirill Kaprizov, haven't heard from them. I'm looking at the Wolves, although, you see games last night. They need to get better. But, all right, back to the talkback machine. Dealer's choice.
Hey, PA, first time, long time. Was reading about the Minnesota Twins last night and the whole sales situation.
Ooh.
Seems a little pear-shaped. Hard to get excited about the Minnesota Twins. Hoping for you guys to provide a little love covenant action. Help me find the positivity, Mr. Purveyor. Thanks. I'll hang up and listen.
Okay. Thank you very much. Twins talk back. Dealer's choice is your idea, so by all means.
I was kind of, I think is it Rosenthal with The Athletic? Dan Hayes, who covers the Twins locally here, might be somebody that we want to talk to later in the week because he's been on this as well.
Mm-hmm.
Twins up for sale. It's Ishbia. It's all that cash. Phoenix Suns here. Now potentially Minnesota Twins there.
Gonna have to stop you there so you can correct me. I thought that guy was dead because he's a minority. That group is in minority ownership with the dirty Southsiders with the Chicago White Sox.
That's where I'm going. Yeah.
Yeah, I apologize.
No, that's but you're right on with it. That's the point. Is he ends up pulling out because he's already got some investments with the White Sox, and I believe it's Reinsdorf ultimately will retire, and so they're going to start maybe moving some of that ownership pie towards Ishbia. So he's out of the mix. Well, where are we at?
Right.
We had heard that there were all these other names in the mix, but the Ishbias were the only names we had ever heard. So now you hear about a valuation, the valuation of the team itself. It's at $1.7 billion. Well, teams aren't excited to pay that. Oh, well, here's a nugget. They've accumulated nearly $500 million in debt that's associated with the team. Damn. That is all part of this sales process now, too. So
looks like Doge rolled in there, too.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they went maybe Cardano, maybe Ethereum, some sort of altcoin or bleep coin that completely took them.
Let's twist the talk back. And when it comes to Mr. Purveyor, will you please sell some positivity for me/us? I'll hang up and listen, end quote. the baseball team. I mean, like this Eeyore-like scenario, this dark cloud scenario, it at least for me from afar encompasses everything.
Yeah.
So therefore, okay, pitching this, Carlos Correa that, like positivity from an on-field standpoint, I can't do it. And here's why. Because just when you think you have things squared away and you're about ready to battle with the masses, the old trade deadline hits. And then all of a sudden, 3 around you who treat things differently from a financial standpoint, or maybe just flat have no money in a salary capless game. Well, they go out and get the Mookie Betts of the world, and then they need a pitcher, and they get the John Candelarias of the world, and you don't. So therefore, that is a line of delineation for yours truly that makes it very tough to sell some hashtag faith positivity. What about you?
Yeah, well, for me, I mean, it's just, Royce Lewis and this hammy bit. He's out at least opening day, I believe. So sweating the health of the big three.
Right.
You need Pablo Lopez, your big dog, to have a better season than he did last year. Duran, what do you have? It was an oblique in spring training. Then he wasn't that great. Griffin Jacks was a gem in the bullpen. But now you want Duran to improve off of 2024. Hasn't looked elite in the spring based on what I've been reading. All of those things, that the same conversation. You have an ownership group that has sucked a lot of goodwill from the fan base over the last 18 months after that playoff spot appearance they had and the series against the Astros. And then you got broadcast packages here, blackouts there.
That's right.
Ownership change happening. Now it's not happening. We got debt. We got all of this. The fans are annoyed. And in the end, by the way, I think the Twins are still favorites to win the AL Central.
Jeez.
After all of that. But it still comes down to health, and it still comes down to quality of the bullpen and getting more juice out of that starting staff. So we're excited to see it happen, but we're tepid.
Meanwhile, on a Talkback Talker Tuesday where it's dealer's choice, and y'all, the listening masses, is the dealers. So we've had a Twins talkback. We've had a Wild/Wolves related talkback. This isn't a talkback, but it's eye-opening to yours truly. And it's via my Twitter, which is on during the radio show. And it involves what's known as aggregators, where they will hear stuff and then they will put it on the tweet machine looking to get response. And I'm totally fine with that. This is the future of Pride on Ice. At Future Gophers. At Future Gophers. First and foremost, you made the conscious decision to listen to 9 to noon. So therefore, we make the conscious decision to share this. At Future Gophers, the future of Pride on Ice, put out a poll off our interview with Bob Motzko. Bob and the team know who will be in net Thursday for Pride on Ice versus UMass. He just mentioned with PA on the mic on KFAN 1003 that the starter likely will be announced tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
So there's a poll. They have an aggregating poll off the 9 to noon radio show, and we think that's pretty cool. The poll is, who do you think should get the nod? Soulier or Airy? Air or Airy? Which way is 9 to noon? Which way are we going to vote?
Are we feeling...
Well, we got to ride discernment because neither of us follow it super closely.
That's correct. I like saying Soulier.
Yeah, I'm going to say Soulier.
Me too.
Because the latter option might have had some functioning floppability in the Notre Dame series.
Uh-oh.
And then the other guy was the workhorse before that. Maybe he just needed to sit back and look at it a little bit.
Just needed to chill, and he's had, more than 2 weeks to think about it?
Yes, sir.
He's ready to rock in Fargo.
We followed the favorite. 105 votes into it. Soulier, 84.5%. Airy has 15% and change. 23 hours left on this controversial poll. And you can find it at Future Gophers. We pushed them because they were nice enough to listen to us.
To the talkback machine, dealer's choice.
Hey, PA, this is Aaron from Lane. All hail the howl. And every time we lose, I can't help but notice Jaden McDaniels has 0 to 1 to 2 rebounds and under 10 points. And I think that is a big reason why we lose. When we win, He's scoring, he's getting rebounds, he's playing defense. When we lose, he doesn't do well in any. All hail the Howl.
Yeah, all hail the Howl. And this plays off something 9 to Noon shared with deep frustration last week. We were deeply frustrated and not very excited to share this, but nevertheless, it was the Don't Kill the Messenger covenant. We can all look at the box score together. So a week ago, Finchy joins 9 to Noon off a stunning loss to the Indiana Pacers, a team Monday at Target Center that eventually would be down all 5 of its starters. All 5. And the next day he was talking about rebounding and boxing out and finding bodies and the pain that goes with it. So then the next game, they play New Orleans. And New Orleans had 4 guards, Messers, Alvarado, Hawkins, McCollum, and Bruce Brown. And they had 22 rebounds in the game. Now, remember, guards generally play a decent amount of feet away from the basket, generally speaking. That's how Mr. Naismith developed the 2 guards and the center and the 2 forwards. The center and the forwards known as bigs. Well, we had 4 bigs, our preferred 4 bigs, Randall, Gobert, Naz Reid, and Jaden McDaniels. They had 19 rebounds and got out-rebounded by the Pelicans guards. L. In that game, McDaniels had 0 rebounds. L. Last night, McDaniels had 1 rebound. Stifle Tower go crazy. He goes for 16 and 16. But the Aaron, the talkback aficionado, he basically laid it out. When Jaden rebounds well, the team wins. All right. Well, let's take a peek at that. So the team lost to Indiana, and he had 1 rebound. The team beat New Orleans. He had an acceptable 5. The team lost to New Orleans. He had 0. The team lost to Indiana, and he had 7. So that's an outlier. Okay. Before that, they beat Utah, McDaniels 12 rebounds. They beat Orlando, McDaniels 8 rebounds. They beat Denver, McDaniels has 8. Aaron, booyah. You were saying?
To the talkback machine. Oh, hang on.
What happened?
Good morning, PA. Good morning, Nardo.
Good morning.
Would like to get your thoughts about JJ's knee. Obviously, there's been plenty of discussion about the timeline. Used to be 12 months, 9 months, and now we're kind of freaking out, Kornikov, after 6 months, right? So just give me a kickback, give everybody kickback on that. Love you guys.
Love you. I can't put it any more bluntly. If they didn't trust J.J. McCarthy's health, Aaron Rodgers would be a member of the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
That's the end of the story. Aaron would have begged, borrowed, stolen, and crawled to play here. They're all in on McCarthy. And to be all in on something, you have to absolutely trust the individual's health. So if they didn't absolutely trust the second-year product's health, Aaron Rodgers would be a member of the Minnesota Vikings. So I really think it's that easy. And around the corner, more talkbacks. Plus, Nordo has a deck in his hand, and he's going to deal up some cards for you, maybe to jumpstart some talkers on a dealer's choice Talkback Talker Tuesday. That is FM 100.3 KFAN.